We are going to learn about how light behaves when it interacts with the three kind of materials. That's transparent materials or translucent materials and opaque objects. How does light behave when it interacts with these three kind of materials? First, we will start with the transparent materials, and we will define what are these. What is transparent material? Or we will check the word transparent material from the word if you are told to be transparent. When we talk of word transparency, it means you are clear. So when people tell you we want transparency and accountability, which means whatever is done there should be clear without any doubt. Now we are going to learn about what is this transparent material when they interact with the light. Now, transparent materials are materials that allow light to pass through them. Materials that allow light to pass through them. And with the transparent materials, as they allow light to pass through them, we can see clearly through them. We can see clearly, mark the word clearly, through them. They allow light first, they allow light to pass through them. Second, we can see clearly through them. Now, let's give examples of transparent materials. We have examples of transparent materials. One, we have clear glass. Clear glass is an example of a transparent material. Air. When you talk of water, but now we need to say clear water, or clear polythene paper, these are examples of transparent materials which we have. Now when we talk of clear glass, what do we use clear glass for? We can use clear glass to make things like window panes. We can use clear glass to make spectacles. So those are now we have come to now uses of transparent materials, and just the way we say materials that allow light to pass through them, which means these materials cannot provide privacy. That's why we use them in making window panes so that light from the sun or from outside can pass or into the room and we see clearly. Spectacles, we can use it to make spectacles because when you wear your spectacles, you need to see through it. Or lamp glasses, you can use it to make lamp glasses. We can use to make lamp glasses or using those ones. And also not forgetting about window panes. So not window panes, but motor vehicle panes, vehicle wind screens, which we call wind screens. We can use transparent materials to make these ones. Now these are the uses. When you are asked the uses of the materials that allow light to pass through them clearly, or the first use we have said we can use them to make spectacles. We can use them to make window pane. We can use them to make vehicle windscreens, and we can use them to make lamp glasses. All these things are the ghost spectacles so that we can see light, to allow light to pass. The window panes to enable the driver to see. Vehicle window panes to enable us to see or enable light to pass into the room. And the vehicle windscreens to enable the drivers to see ahead. Lamp glasses to enable light to pass outside. And remember, when we talk about window pane, this one we need natural light. Light is very important because a good house, to a house with good light, it prevents many things, like it prevents insects, it prevents pests in the house, it prevents accidents in the house, it enables us to see clearly, so we may avoid cases like eye problems and avoid germs and diseases which can be caused by insects or flies which come into the room, because these flies like cockroaches, they hide in dark places. So a good lit house, these pests cannot come and cannot stay there. Now I want us to move the second one, which is called translucent materials. Translucent materials. We want to find out which kind of these materials. When we talk of translucent materials, these are materials which allow sunlight. Here we say they allow light. So here we say materials that allow some light to pass through. We are going to find out, connecting to the second point of transparent materials, which we say we can see clearly through them. The first point of transparent, we say materials that allow light to pass through them. Not some, but allow light to pass. But this one allows some light to pass through them. Let's find out. Do they can we see clearly through translucent materials? We want to find out. For the translucent materials, we cannot see very clearly through them. We cannot see very clearly through them. So which means this one can provide some privacy, because we cannot see very clearly through them. We cannot see very clearly through them. So this one can provide privacy. We are going to give some examples of translucent materials. Examples of translucent materials. Here we have sheets of white paper. Examples: sheets of white paper, sheets of white paper is an example. Frosted glass, frosted glass. We have tracing paper. We have oiled paper. These are example. Also, white piece of cloth. Light piece. When you talk of light piece of cloth. These are examples of translucent materials. We have, for example, we have the sheet of white paper. We have frosted glass. We have tracing paper. We have oil paper. We have light cloth. Now, when you talk of frosted glass, mostly these ones are used in bedrooms. When you go to check the windows, the paints in or the glasses used in bedrooms or places like toilets or washrooms. Most of the time, you will find the glasses which are there. You can't see through them, but they allow light to pass through them. Let's find out uses. What is the uses of these translucent materials? What's their uses? For example, we can say skylight. Do you know skylight? Something called skylight. Translucent roofs. That's what we call translucent. For example, making skylights, making skylights. Or we can also use them in toilet and bedroom. We can also use them in some vehicle windscreen, for example, in ambulances. Let me say in ambulance windscreens, whereas the person who is outside cannot see what is inside, but the person who is inside may see what is outside. So in ambulance, there's windscreens. We use translucent materials because there they need privacy. Or it's like a person in hospital in a ward. So when the doctor is attending to you, or you need some privacy in the place you are. So that's why in ambulance screens, wide screens, they are translucent or skylights. Skylights, those ones that the roof and translucent roofs, they allow light to pass through, but you cannot see through them. We are moving to the last part of materials, how they behave with the light. Now we are moving to opaque materials. With opaque materials, I know this one is common with us, and most people can mention thousands of opaque materials and their uses. So, what are the opaque materials? What are these opaque materials? Opaque materials are materials that do not allow light to pass through them. They do not materials that do not allow light to pass through them. Opaque materials do not allow light to pass through them totally, unlike translucent, which allows some, unlike transparent, which allow all light to pass through them. For opaque materials, they totally do not allow light to pass through them. And it is difficult to see anything through them, which means because they don't allow light to pass through them, it is also difficult to see something through them. Let's name examples of opaque materials which we have within our environment. Examples of opaque materials, we have said there are many, so let's just mention a few, like stone walls. Stone walls, we have clothes. Remember reasons why we wear clothes? We wear clothes for privacy. So when you are choosing your clothes, make sure it is opaque, which do not allow light to pass through them. So wood clothes. And remember, there's somewhere where we say some light cloth, the light piece of cloth is translucent, but most clothes you find out they are opaque. Another example we have soil We have stones. These are the ones which are plain mirrors. Milk, brown pepper. Now let's see stones. These are stones which we use to build our houses, like stone walls. When you talk of stone walls, like this room here, like here, this wall, I can't see the person on the other side of the room. That's now it's called, this one is opaque. So being that something is white, it does not make it transparent. Being that something is white does not make it translucent. So something may be white, but it is opaque. Like this board, it is white board, but you can't see through. So this is opaque. Clothes. Say you wear opaque clothes for privacy. Wood, woods, I think almost all of them, they are opaque. Soil is opaque. Stones, everywhere you walk, you see stones. Most stones, almost all are opaque. Plain mirrors. This now where I'm going to dwell on. When you put a mirror in front of you, if you decide to put a mirror in front of you, for example, this is a mirror, this is you. You will see yourself behind a mirror. You will see your image. This is you. This image will appear there because of reflection. But the person behind you, in case somebody is here, this let's say this is someone here. This person cannot see you, and you cannot see this person. What happened? You can only see your image behind the mirror, and the image or distance, for example, from here to here, if it is 1 meter, it is also 1 meter. But your right hand will appear to be left and left appear right. That's what we call inverted image. So, with a plain mirror is not the same as clear glass. Those are two different things. When we talk of clear glass, that is transparent. When we talk of mirror which makes you to see your image, that is opaque. Mirror is opaque object. Milk is opaque, and brown pepper is opaque object. Like we talk about here, remember where we mentioned there's something like oil pepper, dressing pepper, sheet of white pepper, or sheet of white pepper. This is a translucent, oil pepper, translucent, light piece of cloth, and dressing pepper, translucent. But brown pepper, or this is opaque. So let's come to uses of opaque object. Now, where do we use these opaque objects? One, we use opaque objects to make wall fences. When you see walls, most opaque objects, we use them for privacy. So, what's the work of the wall at home? What's the work of the fence? It's to give you privacy and also for demarcation, give you boundary. But now, when you come to this one, it is walls or wall fences to give privacy. Now, clothes, as they give privacy, we say to make clothes to give us privacy, as we say, bodies of vehicles. We use them to make houses. So, these are uses of opaque objects. Now, with opaque objects, when light come into contact, for example, if this one is opaque object, Let me explain with this one here. If this one, let's say this is sun, and this is a stone. As rays of light come, remember many rays, one is ray, many rays of light make what we call beam of light. So beams or rays of light, they travel in a straight line, and